The wall sounded wrong. That's the only reason I found it. I was trying to hang a stupid floating shelf in the upstairs hallway, the narrow one between the guest room and the attic stairs, and every stud finder reading kept shifting. Solid, hollow. Solid again, like the wall couldn't decide what it was. Old houses do that sometimes, but this wasn't an old house. It was a 12-year-old renovation with clean permits and neat inspection reports. I checked before we bought it. I knocked with my knuckles. Left side, dense thud. Center, empty echo. Right side, dense again. Huh, I murmured. My husband, Ryan, called up from downstairs. You okay? Yeah, weird wall, I answered. Try a different spot. That one's cursed, he joked. Cursed walls are funny until they aren't. I drilled anyway. The bit punched through too fast, no resistance, and the sound behind it wasn't insulation crumble. It was airspace. Open airspace. I pulled the drill back slowly. Not normal. I widened the hole slightly and bent down with my phone flashlight. At first I saw nothing, just darkness, then a vertical edge that looked too straight to be random framing. A seam. I pushed with the screwdriver tip. The drywall shifted inward a fraction. My stomach did a small, curious flip, not fear, discovery. Houses sometimes hide plumbing chases or old access panels. I told myself that while I scored a rectangle around the seam with a utility knife. Ryan, I called. Did the listing mention a service cavity here? Nope, he said. Why? Because I'm about to improve resale value or summon a ghost. Film it if it's a ghost, he replied. We can monetize. I cut the last edge and pulled. A narrow panel, perfectly painted, came loose like a door without hinges. Behind it was a gap about 2 feet deep and a second surface, not framing. A door. Painted the same color as the wall, with a recessed pull ring flush set and invisible unless you knew where to look. I didn't laugh anymore. Okay, that's actually weird, I said. His footsteps started up the stairs. What is? I stepped back as he reached the hallway and looked. Well, I'll be damned, he said softly. That's not on the plans. You saw the plans, I said. Every page. He crouched, studied the edge, didn't touch. That was my first micronote. Ryan is a toucher. He interacts with objects. This time he observed. Old panic room, he offered. In a hallway? I said. Storage, hidden behind fake drywall? He finally hooked the ring with his finger and pulled. The door opened inward with a soft seal break, like it had been closed for a long time. Air came out, not dusty, not stale, climate-controlled. We looked at each other. That was the second wrong note. Unused spaces smell abandoned. This one smelled maintained, faint cedar and something floral. Okay, he said quietly. That's new. You didn't know about this. I said, not quite a question. No, he answered, and the tone was right, but a half beat late. Inside was a narrow walk-in, maybe 6 feet wide, 8 feet deep, with a light already on. Already on. I felt the hair lift on my arms. Did you hit a switch? I asked. No. The bulb was warm white, modern, not leftover construction. Someone used this space. There were shelves, boxes, a garment rack, shoes lined on the floor, women's shoes, arranged by heel height. I stepped inside before thinking. Curiosity outruns caution when the discovery is domestic instead of violent. Clothes hung neatly, dresses, blouses, coats, all my size. Not similar. Exact. I checked a tag. Medium, same brand I wear, same store line. Okay, that's not funny, I said. Ryan stayed at the threshold. Not entering. Watching me enter. Third note. Maybe staging leftovers, he suggested. Staging doesn't match shoe wear patterns, I replied automatically. I picked up a heel. The sole had street scuffs, recent, not showroom. These weren't props. These were used. On the top shelf sat 3 labeled boxes. Winter documents, personal. I turned slowly. Do you know what this is? No, he said, quicker this time. Too quick, overcorrection. Previous owner, he added. The disclosure said estate sale. Cleared property. Maybe missed it. No inspector misses a hidden condition closet with power. He opened his mouth, closed it, no counter ready. I pulled down the documents box. Inside were folders, color-tabbed, meticulous. Top folder, medical. Second, banking. Third, photos. I opened banking. Statements, recent. Within last 6 months, addressed to Lena Hart, Ridgeway Drive, this address. I looked up slowly. That's our address, I said. Ryan frowned, performing confusion, but his eyes didn't move to read. They stayed on my face. Fourth note. Who's Lena Hart? I asked. No idea. You've never heard the name?
No.
I held up the statement. Same house number, same zip, active account. This isn't old, I said quietly. He stepped in one pace now, controlled, measured, like entering a negotiation, not a mystery. Could be identity theft, he offered. Identity theft victims don't store their files in secret closets inside the thief's house. He had no reply to that. I opened the photos folder. A woman, mid-30s, brown hair, familiar smile, standing in our kitchen. Not similar kitchen. Our kitchen. Same tile crack near the sink. Same window chip in the corner frame. Different curtains. My voice came out smaller than I intended. Ryan, I said, why is there another woman's life inside our walls? Ryan didn't answer right away. Not because he was shocked, but because he was choosing. That's the difference you only notice when you're already suspicious. Shock is instant. Choices take a beat. I don't know, he said finally. Previous owner maybe staged photos here for a listing or something. Listing photos don't go in medical folders, I replied. I kept flipping. More photos, same woman, same house, different seasons. Winter wreath on the door. Spring flowers on the table. A birthday cake on our island counter with number candles. 34. Check the dates, I said. He didn't move closer. You check. Fifth note. Digital prints had timestamps in the corner, most from last year. We bought the house 9 months ago. She lived here after renovation, I said quietly. Then why isn't she on the seller history? He countered. Exactly. I set the photo stack down and opened medical. Prescription printouts. Physical therapy invoices. Imaging reports. Patient, Lena Hart Insurance Group. Active address, our address primary contact. Blank. No emergency contact listed. That's strange, I murmured. What? No emergency contact field filled. Some people don't list one. Most do when they're organized enough to file color-coded tabs. He didn't answer. I opened personal. Notebooks. A planner. A leather zip pouch. The planner was current year, tabs worn. Used daily. I flipped to last week. Entries. Monday, PT 9 a.m. Tuesday. Grocery/call are Wednesday. Don't forget lock code change Thursday. Attic light check Friday. Circle twice. Lock code change. I repeated out loud. Ryan shifted his weight. Lots of houses have old keypad notes. We don't have a keypad lock, I said. We replaced it. When? After move-in. With what? Standard deadbolt. I turned slowly. Why? Preference. Or reset. He exhaled through his nose. You're building a story too fast. No, I said. I'm reading one. Inside the leather pouch were receipts, grocery store 3 blocks away, dates within the last 4 months. Ryan, I said evenly, someone has been using our address very recently. Mail forwarding delay, he said. Forwarding doesn't generate local produce receipts. He finally stepped fully inside the closet, but he didn't look at the shelves, he looked at the ceiling corner, scanning like checking for something. Camera? Sensor? Sixth note. I followed his gaze, saw nothing, but I logged the behavior. On the back wall, behind the hanging dresses, there was another narrow shelf, hidden by fabric. I pushed clothes aside. A phone sat there, powered off. Old model, but not obsolete, kept charged recently based on dust pattern around the cable port. I held it up. Explain this, I said. Burner, he guessed. You're guessing a lot for someone with no theory. He shrugged, too loose, posture acting again. I pressed power. Battery icon appeared. 82%. Maintained. Lock screen photo loaded. The same woman, Lena, smiling into the camera, standing in our backyard, holding a mug, wearing a sweater I recognized from the closet rack. Wallpaper widgets showed date. 3 days ago. 3. Not 3 months. 3 days. I felt the floor tilt, not emotionally, logically. This phone was used this week, I said. That's impossible, he answered. Not according to lithium-ion chemistry. I tapped emergency info on the lock screen. Name: Lena Hart. Medical note: severe latex allergy, emergency contact. Ryan Cole, husband. The air left my lungs in a clean, soundless exit. I turned the screen toward him. Do you want to try again? I asked quietly. Or should I? He didn't look at the phone.
He looked at me.
That told me everything. Say something, I said. It's not what you think, he replied. Line 1 from the Universal Liar Handbook. Then say what it is. He rubbed his face, buying seconds. She rented before the sale, he said. Short-term tenant. Paperwork overlap. Tenants list landlords, not husbands, in emergency medical fields. She must have. No. I cut in. You must have. Silence stretched tight between the shelves of another woman's clothes. Footsteps sounded outside. Neighbor dog barking. Ordinary world continuing. Contrast almost insulting. Why hide the closet? I asked. I didn't build it. Why keep it powered? I didn't know it was powered. Why is your name in her medical profile? No answer. 7th note, non-denial silence. I opened the planner again and flipped forward. Today's date had one line written. If he lies again, use the backup. Ink was fresh, not faded, written with pressure. I showed him. His jaw clenched. First real emotional tell. What backup? I asked. I don't know, he said, and that one sounded closer to true, but not complete. Did she live here while we lived here? I asked. No, he said quickly.
Too quickly.
Overlap, denial, reflex. I stepped out of the closet and walked straight to the hallway thermostat, removed the cover, not because I expected something, but because hidden systems cluster. Behind it, newer wiring splice, feeding a secondary line. I followed the conduit visually. It ran toward the closet cavity. Independent power. Independent climate. Independent secret. This space was maintained deliberately, I said. He leaned against the wall now, cornered posture beginning. You're scaring yourself, he tried. No, I replied. I'm catching up. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, text. You found her room. I showed him the screen. Color drained from his face faster than any denial ever could. Who is that? I asked. He whispered. That means she knows. That means she knows. He said it too quietly for performance. This was reflex voice, not scripted voice. Knows what? I asked. That you opened it. Opened what? The closet or the lie? He didn't answer. I typed back to the unknown number. Who is this? The reply came almost instantly. You're standing where she slept. I felt a cold line trace down my back. Not fear, presence. The kind that comes when a mystery stops being historical and becomes current. I sent the number to my own email, then screenshotted it. Documentation first, always. Ryan pushed off the wall. Don't engage.
Why?
Because she escalates. She, I repeated. Not they. Not someone. You know exactly who this is. He dragged a hand through his hair, stress gesture. Real this time. Yes, he said. I know who it is. Name. Lena. I assumed that part. Footsteps in my own pulse now. Steady, but loud. Start at the beginning, I said. Chronological. No edits. He hesitated, and I lifted the phone camera and hit record. Not hidden, visible. That forced a choice. She was here before you, he said. And after. Define after. After we bought the house. My stomach tightened. Overlap. Yes. Living here? Sometimes. Hidden in a closet? Protected. From what? From being found. By who? He didn't answer.
My phone buzzed again.
Unknown. Check the winter box. I turned, went back inside the hidden closet, and pulled down the winter box. Ryan didn't try to stop me. Another admission without words. Inside, sweaters, scarves, and a sealed envelope taped under the lid. I opened it. Printed photos, telephoto, surveillance style. Ryan, different locations, parking garages, coffee shops, office buildings, timestamps across 2 years. He swore under his breath. She kept those.
She surveilled you, I said.
She documented risk, he corrected automatically. Language slip, perspective alignment. Why would she need risk documentation unless she believed you were dangerous?
I asked.
I wasn't dangerous to her. Not the question I asked. He looked away. Under the photos was a flash drive labeled in marker. Backup, if needed. I held it up. He closed his eyes briefly. That's what she meant. What's on it? Everything. Define everything. Insurance. Against you. Yes. That one was clean. Why does she need insurance against her husband?
I asked.
We were never legally married, he said quickly. I held up the phone, showing the emergency contact field again. Husband, I repeated. Operational term, he said. Not legal. You're inventing categories now. I'm simplifying, he snapped, first edge of anger. Defensive, not aggressive. Try truth instead. He inhaled slowly, recalibrating tone. She came to me through a client referral, he said. Security situation. Domestic threat. You're a software compliance consultant. And risk mitigation advisor. That's not on your website. It's not public. Convenient. What threat? I asked. Her ex. Police report? Yes. Case number? He hesitated. Case number. I repeated. I don't remember. People remember case numbers when they build hidden rooms. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. He told you the hero version yet? I turned the screen toward him. He flinched, tiny but measurable. Answer, I said. She exaggerates, he muttered. She texts in real time, I replied. That beats exaggeration. I typed back. Then tell me your version. Typing bubble appeared, stayed, disappeared, returned. My version has proof. I wrote. Send it. Ryan stepped closer. Don't. Why? Because she edits context. Evidence beats context. You're assuming it's evidence. I'm assuming it's data. The file arrived, compressed video. I didn't open it yet. Saved, duplicated, uploaded to cloud. He watched every step, tracking loss of control. You're treating this like an audit, he said. I am. What if you don't like the findings? Then there's still findings. I opened the video. Security camera angle, time-stamped, our living room, 6 weeks ago, while I was at my sister's wedding out of state. Ryan in frame. Lena in frame. Arguing, audio clear. You promised you were done with new covers, she said. I am done, he replied. You said that before the last one. This is different. She's different.
Pause.
Yes. My throat tightened, not from jealousy, from classification. I won't disappear again for you, Lena said. I didn't ask you to disappear. You built the room. For safety. For containment. Words matter, and she chose hers carefully. Video ended. I looked up slowly. Define covers, I said. He said nothing. Define disappear again. Nothing. Define why my house has a containment room for another woman. Silence stretched, then broke. I used to work in protective relocation, he said quietly. Witness protection? Private sector version. Which company? He hesitated. Name. I pressed. Graybridge. I pulled out my phone and searched. No such firm. Try again, I said softly. His shoulders dropped, surrender posture beginning. Off-book contracts, he admitted. Meaning illegal. Meaning deniable. My phone buzzed one more time. Unknown. Ask him about March 3rd. I read it aloud. Ryan went completely still. Not confused. Recognizing. What happened March 3rd? I asked. He swallowed. That, he said, is why she needed the closet. That, he said, is why she needed the closet. Not needed. I replied quietly. Was forced to use.
He didn't correct me.
March 3rd. I repeated. Start there. He leaned against the hallway wall like his spine needed help holding the weight of the date. There was a breach, he said. Define breach. Location compromise. Whose location? Hers.
How?
Her ex hired a tracker. Digital or physical? Both. Conveniently cinematic, which made it suspect. Police involved?
I asked.
Not officially. Why not? Because official reports create searchable records. That's what reports are for. That's what reports expose. Not wrong, but not exonerating. I held up the phone. She says she has proof. She has fragments, he replied. Not context. Fragments are still facts. He rubbed his hands together. Friction habit, stress discharge. March 3rd, he found the previous safe house, Ryan said.
She panicked.
I moved her to my future house. We hadn't met yet, but you were buying it. Yes. Timeline overlap again. He didn't answer. My phone buzzed. Another message from the unknown thread. Unknown. Ask him who paid for the renovation. I read it aloud. Ryan closed his eyes briefly. That's not relevant. Then it's extremely relevant, I said. Client funded. Which client? Her. With what money? Settlement. From her ex. Case number, I said immediately. He hesitated again, too long. Settlement cases have numbers. I continued. Judges. Dockets. Records. It was private arbitration, he said. Arbitration firms still exist. He didn't supply one. I stepped back into the hidden closet and studied it with new eyes, not as a secret, as a project. Custom framing. Dedicated power. Ventilation splice. Moisture barrier. Sound insulation foam behind the panel edge. This wasn't improvised. This was engineered. How long did construction take? Asked without looking at him. He answered automatically, mistake. 3 days. I turned slowly. You said you didn't know it existed. Silence. Then, I meant I didn't know it was still active. Lie repair, week. Who built it? I asked. Contract crew. Names. Cash job. Of course. My phone vibrated again. File incoming. Same unknown sender. Document. PDF. Invoice header. Ridgeway interior modifications. Paid. Lena Hart. Scope line item. Concealed condition storage. Secondary access panel. Independent circuit. Privacy seal door. Date. For months before we closed on the house. So, she renovated a house she didn't own, I said. She expected to, Ryan replied. Meaning?
She was supposed to buy it.
Why didn't she? Deal collapse. With whom? He didn't answer. With you? I pressed. He looked away, confirmation without sound. You took the purchase, I said. Yes. And kept the room. Yes. And kept her.
Pause.
Sometimes. My chest tightened, not heartbreak, clarity compression. Define sometimes. When risk spiked. Risk from X. Yes. Name. Derek Hale. I searched immediately. 3 results, same city, 1 restraining order filing, different woman, not Lena. Not matching, I said. Different jurisdiction, he insisted. Then give me the right one. He didn't. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. Derek is dead. Try again. I read it out loud. Ryan's head snapped up. Real shock this time. That's not public, he said. Apparently it is now. Who are you talking to? He demanded, finally flipping the question outward. Your other wife, I said evenly. We were not. Operationally married. I finished for him. Yes, you covered that. Another message arrived, image this time. Newspaper clipping photo. Local man Derek Hale. Fatal crash, March 2nd. March 2nd. Your breach was the day after he died. I said softly. Ryan's mouth opened. No sound came out. That changes your story. I continued. He sat down on the hallway floor, energy collapse, truth pressure hitting structure. Okay, he said quietly. Yes. Yes what? Yes, not X threat. Then what threat? His partners. Business partners. He nodded once. What business? He hesitated, then chose. Money laundering logistics. Lena was involved. No. She was leverage. Meaning target. Yes. Meaning asset. Yes. Pattern echo from the last case. Different man, same language class. You relocate witnesses for criminals, I said. I relocate liabilities, he corrected. Honest and ugly. March 3rd. I pressed. What actually happened? He swallowed. They came looking for her. Who? Hale's financial partners. Names. I only knew handles. List them. He did 3 aliases, I recorded them all. And you hid her here? I said. Yes. For how long? On and off since. Without telling me. Yes. While marrying me. He closed his eyes. Yes. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. Ask him about the second exit. I frowned. Second exit? I asked. Ryan looked up sharply. Fear, not annoyance. There isn't one, he said. Wrong tone. I stepped back inside the closet and examined the floor, baseboards, rear wall. One board line was too clean. I pressed. It shifted. Panel door, low, crawl space sized. Opening into darkness. I turned back to him. You built a tunnel, I said. He whispered. It was already there. It was already there. That sentence, I said quietly, never makes anything better. Ryan stayed seated on the floor, back to the wall, like standing would require a new version of truth he hadn't prepared yet. Already there from what? I asked. Original construction or prior modification? Original foundation access, he said. Extended later. By you. By contractors. Paid by Lena. Yes. At your direction. Pause. Then, yes. Precision matters. I crouched and opened the low panel fully. Cool air drifted out, earth-scented, moving, not stagnant. Active airflow means connected space. I turned on my phone flashlight and angled it inside. Not a crawl space. A passage. Reinforced sides. Vapor barrier lining. Low-profile LED strips wired along the edge. Currently off but recently installed. No corrosion on clips. It ran straight about 15 feet, then turned. This is not foundation access, I said. No, he admitted. It's a contingency route. For who? For whoever was using the room. Meaning Lena. Yes. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. He never checked the far end. Ask him why. I read it aloud. Ryan's brow furrowed. Real confusion, not staged. There is no far end, he said. It dead ends at the utility chase. Then you won't mind if I verify, I replied. He stood halfway, instinct to stop me, then forced himself still. Control battle visible. It's tight, he said. Unsafe. So is marriage under false pretenses. I grabbed a flashlight from the garage drawer, set my phone to record video with timestamp overlay, and aimed it into the tunnel before entering. Documentation first, body second. Stay there, he said. No. I went in on hands and knees. The floor was padded, gym mat style. Intentional noise reduction. Whoever designed this expected movement under stress. 8 feet and I noticed something else. Scuff marks, recent, not dust settled. Someone used this path lately. Ryan. I called back. When was the last time she was here? 2 weeks, he said. No hesitation, likely true. Alive. He exhaled sharply. Yes. Free? Pause. Yes. Delay, not as confident. I reached the bend. The tunnel did not dead end. It widened slightly and ended at a vertical ladder, metal, bolted, going up. Utility chase? I called. Yes, he answered. Too fast again. I climbed 3 rungs and hit a hatch panel above. Pushed. It opened into darkness, then dim light lines. I lifted myself through. Attic. Far end, opposite side of the house, above the garage, nowhere near the hallway closet. Second exit confirmed. Dead end. I called back. Silence then. I never came this far. that I believed. His breathing pattern behind me carried embarrassment, not deception. In the attic corner sat a small plastic crate and a folded blanket. Not abandoned, staged. I opened the crate. Water bottles, protein bars, 2 emergency phones, cash bundle vacuum sealed, pepper spray, compact medical kit, go bag, maintained. I climbed back down and returned through the tunnel. Ryan was exactly where I left him, which told me he knew running would only worsen the math. She's been using this recently, I said. I told her not to, he replied, because it risks her cover. Because it risks her safety. Those are not the same priority, I said. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. Check the personal notebook, last page. I went to the personal box, pulled the leather notebook, flipped to the back. Indented writing impressions, last page torn out. I angled it under light. Pressure, marks visible. I shaded lightly with pencil from the desk drawer, letters surfaced. If anything happens, attic end, gray pipe, code in cap. I read it out loud. Ryan swore. She wasn't supposed to leave that. Supposed to according to whom?
Me.
Not her. I went back through the tunnel, faster this time, climbed to attic, found the gray PVC pipe near the joist, and cap glued but recently cut and resealed. I twisted, it came loose. Inside, a rolled waterproof sleeve. Memory card.
Passport.
Birth certificate. Name, Lena Hart, real, not alias. Also, a second ID. Different name. Different state. I returned with it. Ryan stared. She made a shadow identity. Yes, I said. Like someone taught her. He didn't answer. My phone buzzed again, this time not unknown. Blocked caller ID. Voice call. I answered on speaker. A woman's voice, calm, tired, unmistakably real. You found it, she said. Lena, I replied. Yes. Ryan closed his eyes. Are you safe? She asked me, not him. Yes. Good. Are you? I asked. Safer than yesterday, she said. Less safe than tomorrow. You've been in my house, I said. Yes. Recently. Yes. Why contact me now? Because you opened the wall, she answered. Which means the timeline moved. Moved to what? Decision. I glanced at Ryan. About him? Yes. He whispered. Don't do this on the phone. She ignored him. To be clear, Lena continued, I did not hide from you. I hid from the men he works for. Worked, Ryan corrected weakly. She laughed once, no humor. He still works for whoever pays fastest. That's not, he started. True, she finished.
He stopped.
I asked the cleanest question available. Did he protect you or manage you?
Both, she said.
In that order at first, then reversed. Are you in danger right now? I asked. Yes, she said simply. From who? From the money, she replied. Not men, not gangs, not names. Money. That told me scale. What do you want from me? I asked. Access, she said. To what? The drive behind the winter box. I frowned. There was no drive behind. I stopped. I hadn't checked behind the rear panel of that box. I looked at Ryan. He looked away. Answer enough. And that's when I understood. The hidden closet wasn't storage. It was a negotiation room. The hidden closet wasn't storage, I said slowly. It was a negotiation room. Lena didn't answer right away, which meant I'd finally named it correctly. Yes, she said at last. That's the most accurate label anyone's used. Ryan let out a breath like something inside him had been officially discovered, not just suspected. It was a contingency space, he muttered. That's just a nicer word for leverage, she replied. I went back to the winter box and emptied it completely this time. Lining, cardboard seams, taped edges. On the inside rear wall, a thin false panel, exactly as she implied. I pried it loose. Behind it, a flat black SSD drive in a padded sleeve and a folded sheet of paper. I held it up. Found it. Ryan swore under his breath again. You were never supposed to see that. I'm getting that a lot today, I said. To be fair, Lena added through the phone, you were never supposed to exist in his plan either. I opened the folded paper first. Handwritten grid, columns and dates, amounts, account fragments, initials, transfer paths. Not random numbers, routing logic. It's a ledger, I said. Yes, Lena replied. The real one. Ryan's head lifted. You kept a copy? I kept survival, she said. Copy is just the format. What's on the drive? I asked. Transaction proofs, she said. Shell accounts, courier videos, voice confirmations, document scans, and the March 3rd footage. Ryan looked up sharply. You said you deleted that. I said I removed it from your server. Difference. I sat on the hallway floor opposite him. Mirror position, balance of power physically visible now. Before I plug this in anywhere, I said, I want one straight answer from each of you. Neither objected. Question. If I walk away and call federal authorities right now, who gets hurt first? Ryan answered first, reflex. Her. Lena answered half a second later. Him. Conflict, which meant truth lived between. Explain, I said. Ryan. Her identity chain burns, they trace. She loses her shadow documents. Lena. His client chain burns, they trace. He loses his immunity deals. Immunity deals. I turned to him. You didn't mention immunity. Because it's conditional, he said quietly. On what? Deliverables. Meaning people. He didn't say yes, but didn't say no. Lena did. Meaning names. The air shifted again. This was no longer domestic betrayal. This was federal-scale bargaining. My phone buzzed. New text, unknown number, different thread. Unknown. Drive stays offline or she disappears. I showed them both. Ryan whispered, That's not my side. I believe you, Lena said, surprising me. Your side threatens differently. How? I asked. His side persuades, she said. Mine warns. Tone taxonomy, useful. I typed back. Proof of life required for leverage. 3 dots appeared, then nothing. Thread went silent. Good, Lena said softly. You speak their language. I audit risk, I replied. Same grammar. I stood. Next rule, no more hallway negotiations. Agreed, Lena said. Meaning what? Ryan asked. Meaning I set the next move, I answered. I walked to the kitchen, set the drive on the table, opened my laptop, but did not plug it in. Instead, I opened a live cloud evidence vault and a screen recorder. Chain of custody, self-managed. Who built the client chain? I asked Ryan without looking up. I assembled routing, he said. Not sources. Who sourced? Intermediaries. Names. Handles only. List. He did, I typed. Lena confirmed 2, corrected 1, added another. Cross-verification live. Rare and powerful. March 3rd footage, what is it? I asked. Ryan answered. Garage meet transfer. Lena answered. Threat meeting refusal. Different framing, same event. Who attended? I asked. 3, Ryan said. 4, Lena corrected. He frowned. No, 3. You forgot the driver, she said. He went still, recalculating memory. See, she added. You curate, I record. My phone buzzed again, this time from a restricted government number. Unknown Gov. This is Agent Ruiz.
We need to talk now.
I blinked. Ryan looked up. You already contacted law enforcement? No, I said and meant it. Lena spoke quietly into the phone line, still connected. I did. Ryan shut his eyes. Of course you did. You weren't moving fast enough, she replied. New call incoming, same number, I answered. Agent Ruiz, the voice said, different Ruiz, not police, federal. Yes. Do not connect that drive to any personal device, he said. We are 10 minutes out. Copy. You are not in trouble, he added, which means I might be later. But not yet. I ended the call and looked at Ryan. Your timeline just expired, I said. He nodded once, acceptance, almost relief. Lena asked quietly, Are they really coming? Yes. Good, she said. I'm tired. Where are you?
I asked.
Close enough to hear the sirens when they arrive, she replied. Ryan looked up sharply. You're near the house? Yes. Why would you? Because negotiation rooms work best near exits, she said. I finally understood the architecture fully. Hidden closet.
Tunnel.
Attic exit. Go bag. Not hiding space. Standoff design. Sirens sounded faint in the distance. Ryan whispered, almost to himself. She always plans the second move better than the first. She always plans the second move better than the first. The sirens grew louder, not screaming fast, but deliberate, coordinated. Not patrol curiosity. Task arrival. Ryan didn't try to run. That told me more than anything else had. He knew which side of the board had already closed. Are you armed? I asked him plainly.
No.
Any weapons in the house I don't know about? Only the safe, basement, registered. Code. He gave it. I wrote it down without checking yet. Sequence logging matters. Lena was still on the line, quiet now, listening like someone at the edge of a storm she'd been predicting for months. Stay where you are, I told her. I won't come in, she said. I'm not stupid. Didn't say you were. I said I'm tired, she replied. Different diagnosis. Vehicles rolled to a stop outside. Multiple, doors opening, radio chatter faint through walls. My phone lit with a message from the federal number. Agents at perimeter. Do not approach windows. I read it aloud. Ryan gave a small, humorless smile. Efficient. You're not surprised, I said. No, he replied. Just early. A knock hit the front door. Hard, official, single sequence, not repeated. Federal agents. A voice called. Occupants respond. I walked to the door. Opened it with empty hands raised slightly. Non-threat posture learned from documentaries and common sense. 2 agents. Windbreakers, badges, calm eyes. Movement behind them more. I'm the homeowner, I said. Evidence is secured but offline. Good, the lead agent said. You're doing fine. Fine was not the word I would have chosen, but I accepted it. They entered, split. 1 stayed with me, 2 moved to Ryan, who didn't resist when they secured him. No dramatics. No shouting. Just inevitability finishing its walk. Drive, the agent asked. Kitchen table. He bagged it immediately, tagged, logged. Chain transferred. Phone call still active, he asked. Yes. He held out his hand. I gave it to him. Ma'am, he said into the line. This is Special Agent Ruiz. Identify. Pause, then Lena's voice. You're late. Not anymore, he replied. Location. She gave cross-street coordinates, 2 blocks away. Stay visible, he said. Do not move. I'm done moving, she answered. Call ended. Ryan was guided to a chair, not cuffed yet, cooperative subject protocol. The agent looked at him. You understand why we're here? Ryan nodded. Yes. Anything in the house that can hurt my people?
No.
Anything that can help you later if we find it first? Ryan almost smiled. Plenty. Honesty phase, finally. I sat at the kitchen table while they worked, imaging devices, photographing the closet, mapping the tunnel, marking the attic cache. My house became a diagram in real time. 1 agent came back from the attic. Second exit confirmed. I nodded. Negotiation architecture. He looked at me, surprised, then wrote the phrase down. Good. Correct labels travel. 20 minutes later, another car arrived. Lena stepped out between 2 agents, not restrained but bracketed. She looked exactly like the photos, just more tired and more real. She saw me through the doorway and gave a small nod, not apology, acknowledgement. I'm sorry about the wall, she said as she entered. I'm not, I replied. It was load-bearing truth. Ryan looked at her, complicated expression, history, debt, irritation, respect, all layered. You escalated, he said. You stalled, she answered. The lead agent set a recorder on the table. We're doing this clean, he said. No hallway versions. 1 timeline. For the next hour, truth stopped being personal and became structured. Ryan built relocation shells for high-risk financial actors, Lena was placed as leverage collateral in a laundering dispute. March 3rd was a forced recovery attempt after a courier defected. The house was purchased under a clean spouse cover profile. Me. The hidden room was both safe space and pressure point. The drive was mutual deterrence. Every piece matched something I'd already observed. That's how you know you're hearing truth. It aligns with independent data. When they finished, Ryan was formally arrested. Different tone now. Rights read, wrists secured. He didn't look at me for forgiveness. He looked at me for assessment. Was any of it real? He asked quietly. I answered with the only honest metric left. Yes, I said. Your skill, not your story.
He accepted that.
Lena gave her statement next, sharp, chronological, documented. No embellishment, which made it stronger. Before agents moved her out, she paused beside me. You could have walked away, she said. I did, I replied, toward the facts. She almost smiled. By evening, the house was quiet again, but no longer deceptive. Panels open, photos tagged, tunnel lit with evidence lamps, secrets converted to inventory. An agent handed me a receipt packet. You're clear, he said. You were never the target, just the cover. That matters. I know, I said. After they left, I stood in the hallway and looked at the cut wall, the place where the wrong sound changed everything. Not haunted, revealed. My phone buzzed once more. Final message from the federal contact. Ledger reconciled. You're off it. I turned off the hallway light, left the panel open, and let the house be honest, even if it looked unfinished. Because now it was.